Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. If I was allowed a prop tonight, I would have a banana. And if I bit into that banana without unwrapping it, I think you'd say that isn't right. Well, that is how most of the population views happiness, as something they cannot reach. However, if they took the time to unwrap it, they may discover something far tastier on the inside. The other day, I was brushing my teeth, and questions started popping into my head, like, what's for dinner? When am I going to do that last minute homework? And what makes people happy? You know, the ordinary things. I then asked myself that question, how to enjoy the most boring of tasks and be happy? This is the question I want to answer today. Could I ask everybody who has been unhappy or just plain bored recently to show a hand? Yes? You're not alone. According to a recent study, 1 in 3 of us here in the UK are unhappy most of the time. And I think you'd agree that it is shocking to hear that 300 million people have depression globally. I think you'd also agree that it is saddening to hear that today so many of us struggle to be happy. So, if you asked my little brother how people could be happier, I think he would say chocolate and sweets. In fact, I know I asked him what a valuable resource that was. However, if I asked you what makes you happy, I think I would hear a variety of answers, and some of you may not even know. That, as a society, we are not sure how to be happy is a bit disappointing. However, there were and are indigenous tribes who were very happy, and successful businessmen who are not. What are we striving towards? Isn't it astonishing that we haven't figured this out? Well, let me introduce you to Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, a Hungarian-American psychologist and a leading American academic. In the 1970s, Mihaly became fascinated by artists who were so absorbed in their work they lost track of time and overlooked their need for food, water, and even sleep. Mihaly recognised that when a person is immersed in an activity, all their focus is pointed directly towards the task at hand. They lose awareness of all other things. His research found that the body can process around 110 bits per second, and it takes just 60 bits to listen to someone talking. People can decide what they wish to focus on and where these bits go. Having all your focus pointed at one activity, Mihaly recognised and named as the psychological concept of flow. He described flow as being completely involved in an activity for its own sake. The ego falls away, time flies, every action, movement and thought follows inevitably from the previous one. Like playing jazz, your whole being is involved and you're using your skills to the utmost. His study led him to believe that it is being in this state which leads to happiness. This fits with the Greek definition of happiness as the joy we feel when we are striving towards our potential. Flow. This is a state we have all hopefully experienced at some time. Perhaps when you were a child, the perfect balance between control and arousal, sometimes referred to as being in the moment. Another psychologist summarised the 6 conditions that need to be satisfied for a task to make you happy as knowing what to do, knowing how to do it, knowing how well you're doing, in addition to the task needing to be seen as a challenge, and yet you must believe the task is achievable. And while doing the task, you need to be free from distractions. Analysing these conditions, we can see why sport can make us happy. It meets the criteria. You know what to do, score or save a goal. You know how to do it, you've practiced. You know how well you're doing from the score. And the match will have the right skill level and all the players will know the match is winnable. Finally, sport is free from distractions. You're focused. You're in the zone. Just remember, when doing sports, you do need to be careful with animals. My dog used to chase people on a bike a lot. It got so bad I had to take his bike away. Anyway, from the conditions, we can also see why, for example, school might not be enjoyable. And this may be why so many of us, up to 40% of students, are not engaged and happy in school. There are so many distractions, your phone, your friends, those people playing in the school field. Sometimes the work is too easy, we get bored, and sometimes it is too hard. People should be going to and enjoying school and work. I know a lot of jokes about unemployed people, but none of them work. Really though, many people are happy at school, so what are they doing that others are not? To answer this, I turned to my friend who plays for the Leicester City Football Academy. John used to hate school, but he found that if he could use his sport to help him, he could enjoy it a whole lot more. A couple of years ago, he began adding metaphorical goals into the classroom. He challenged himself to finish the work first, ask the most questions, or fit the most words on a line. By adding goals, he provided himself with an immediate feedback mechanism and turned school into a game, therefore allowing it to more closely resemble the conditions for flow. Ladies and gentlemen, as we now know, there is no need to have a secret to happiness. Remember that games make the boring fun. This can be common knowledge, and then we may all unlock the greatest superpower of all. Now, I challenge you to open your own banana and view life as a game. I hope you found this interesting, and thank you for listening to me today.